Fester's Quest is a game based on the Addams Family TV show. The plot of the game is that space aliens have invaded and our hero, Uncle Fester, is out to stop them. I'm not sure what space invaders have to do with the Addams Family, but whatever. Any excuse to go out and kick some alien ass is good enough. Now, for the gameplay. This game is a top-view adventure game similar to Zelda or certain parts of Blaster Master. Fester's Quest doesn't have levels per se. Here you have a more seamless type of gameplay like in Zelda, where you transition back and forth between the overworld and the labyrinths. In Fester's Quest, you transition between the streets, the sewers, and inside of buildings. Later in the game, you will board a spaceship, and from there you will make your way to the final boss. Every area is in top view, with the exception of the buildings, which are in first-person view, like the mazes in Golgo 13 or the cabins in Friday the 13th. You start off with a gun that looks like a horn that can be upgraded to a maximum level 8, and along the way you'll fight various enemies that drop items such as keys, which you need to enter houses and buildings, light bulbs to light up sewers, money to buy hot dogs to refill your life, and weapon upgrades and downgrades. In your mission, you'll go into houses where members of the Addams Family give you various items to help you, such as vice grips, potions to refill your life or make you invulnerable, missiles, TNT, and the Mighty Noose, which summons Lurch, who wipes out all the enemies on the screen, and later in the game you'll even receive a whip from Morticia, which can be upgraded to a maximum level 4. The objective of the game is to make your way through these streets and sewers and into these buildings where you engage in boss fights. Each boss leaves a clue, and when you obtain all the clues, you board the spaceship. It's similar in a way to collecting the pieces of the Triforce in Zelda. The last thing I want to talk about is the menu. You get a menu which displays your clues, your weapons levels, and your items.
So, sounds pretty interesting, right? Wrong! This game is a piece of shit! There are a multitude of problems I have with this game. First of all, you start off with 2 life bars. That's it. 2 fucking life bars. You know what that means? That means 1, 2, you're fucking dead. Game over. Now there are 2 life bars that you can get in the game. The first one is in this first building, where you turn in this hallway and go into the dead end, and there you go. There it is. The second life bar, you have to take this hidden path through these bushes to access the house where the Addams Family resides, and that's where you get the second life bar. The problem is that the game gives you absolutely no indication on where these life bars are, or that they even exist. There are no clues in the game on where to find this. Now, do you see what the problem is with that? The problem is that when this game came out, you didn't have internet or strategy guides to help you. You just ran into these bars on accident. So either you got lucky or you were screwed. You went through the whole game with 2 measly life bars. Anyway, moving on. The second problem I have with this game are the weapons are fucking useless. You start off with a gun that can be upgraded to a maximum level 8. The problem is, most of these upgrades are absolutely retarded. Gun levels 1 and 2 are not so bad. You just shoot straight and level 2 adds range. The problem begins at level 3 where you shoot these orange boomerang shaped things that move in a wave. The wavelength is too freaking big, and what happens is you end up missing half the enemies you're trying to shoot. Level 4 adds wavelength and amplitude, magnifying the problem. I mean, look, check this out. Okay, we just got the level 4 upgrade. Okay, we're gonna go in this house and get some TNT from Pugsley. There we go. Alright, now I need to get to this other house, see on the bottom right, to get some vice grips, and there's some blue frogs come. Oh shit, I just got hit. Now watch me try to look at that shit. Look how, see how the boomerangs just went right around him? Now look at this. Alright, now I need to go get some hot dogs so I can refill my life bar. There we go. Okay, there's... wait. Alright, the frog. Look at that. I'm trying to shoot it. Look at that. Look, see how at the wall look. You can't even fucking hit him. Man. Jeez. There we go. Oh, shit. Weapons downgrade. Uh-oh. Uh-oh. Another frog. Shit.
What were they thinking?
It doesn't seem so bad when you're in a wide open space, but this game has a lot of areas where you're in tight corridors and projectiles stop when they hit the wall, effectively turning your gun into a melee weapon. A lot of these corridors are narrower than your gun's range. I mean, what the fuck kind of shit is that? They should have made this like the wave gun in Metroid. Now that would have made more sense. Level 5 and 6 aren't much better. You shoot these revolving black balls and you still have the problem of missing enemies, and the balls stop when they hit the wall. I mean, look at this. Okay, here we are with the level 6 upgrade. Now watch me try to shoot. You see that? That's level 6, inside the sewers. Look at that, you can't... Look, you just... I have to use TNT to kill this shit because my gun's a piece of shit. There we go. So you try to shoot and it just hits the wall. You have no range. I mean, why do they think that would be a good idea? Now look at these rats. You gotta fight it. There, you see... That's how it looks in a more open space. It's somewhat usable in a more open space, but in tight quarters you can't even use it at all. So look how wide that is. See, it's not so bad in a wide open space, but when you're in a confined corridor like that, it's completely useless. I mean, what the fuck? The gun should be effective anywhere in the game. What a piece of shit. Level 7 is better. You're shooting these two beams of triangles that crisscross each other. The problem is that there are still big gaps in the gun's effective range. You can shoot down narrow corridors, but the problem is that you must position yourself precisely, otherwise the projectiles hit the wall. Level 8 is a breath of fresh air. You shoot 3 projectiles straight, which closes any gaps in the gun's effective range, and you can shoot down corridors without much problem. But it still has its flaws. Even though you shoot 3 beams of triangles, if one hits a wall, the other 2 disappear. I mean, can you imagine playing Contra and having the spread gun and having the entire volley disappear when one of the bullets hits something? Well anyway, despite its problems, get the final upgrade ASAP. Don't even venture out from the beginning of the game until you are fully upgraded. Just walk around killing these spores and collect upgrades until you are at level 8. It should only take about like 5 minutes. It'll make your game a hell of a lot easier. The final problem with the gun is it's too damn weak, even at level 8. Some of these enemies take a shitload of shots to kill and jump at you rather fast, and when they're in the air, you can't hit them. You can try falling back, but the enemies just respawn. I mean, playing this game, all you do is just mash buttons. Do you know what it feels like playing this game? That's right, the torture scene from Metal Gear Solid.
How did you like that?
Don't even think about playing this game without a turbo controller, unless you want to develop carpal tunnel syndrome. And you know what else? This gun is the most convoluted piece of shit I have ever used in any game I have ever played in my entire life. I mean, I can understand that, you know, this is the Addams Family, and so you have this need to be weird because it's the Addams Family, but come on! At least make the gun functional. I mean, why did they think it was smart to have a gun that you can't even use in a narrow corridor? I mean, what were they thinking? Well anyway, later in the game you get this whip from Morticia. The whip has 4 levels. You start off with what is presumably a leather whip, and then you upgrade to a chain whip, and then what looks like a morning star, and then finally a flame whip. But wait, where have we seen this before? Yeah, that's right, Simon's Quest. They ripped this shit straight off Simon's Quest. But you know what? That's probably a good thing, because if they came up with their own scheme, it would probably be some stupid asinine bullshit just like the gun. Okay, the whip is a lot stronger than the gun. The problem is that the whip gathers any item left behind when you kill an enemy. Now that sounds like a convenience, right? Wrong. These enemies drop a shitload of weapons downgrades, and naturally you'll be button mashing or using a turbo controller. And inevitably, you'll accidentally get a downgrade and downgrade your whip or your gun. Don't use the whip, it's just not worth it. Another problem I have with this game are the continues. If you die, you start all over again from the beginning. That's right, from the beginning. There are no milestones in the game where you continue from. You start all over. The only difference between starting a new game and continuing is that you keep all your weapons, upgrades, and items, and you don't have to refight any bosses that you defeated. It's still total bullshit to have a continue option and have the player start all the way from the beginning. I mean, who wants to fucking start from the beginning? Give me a fucking break. Another thing that I hate are these buildings where you go into first person mode. The problem is that as you progress in the game, the layouts get more complicated and it's easy to get lost. There are no enemies in the building and there's no time limit. It's just a pointless maze that wastes time. I mean, at least in Golgo 13 you had enemies to fight. And on top of that, if you happen to run into that extra life bar in the first building, you'll probably be wasting your time on a wild goose chase looking for new life bars. Well, there are no more life bars, so don't even bother. Look at this shit. Who would design a building like this in real life? And, you know, another thing is that if you get lost and come up to a door, it could be the door that you use to enter the building, and if you go outside, you have to use another key to re-enter the building. Why couldn't they just leave out the maze and have you fight the boss upon entry into the building? That would have made more sense. One last gripe I have with this game are these goddamn weapons downgrades. Half the time when I'm in these sewers or narrow corridors, these enemies drop these weapons downgrades right in front of me and I can't proceed until it disappears. This happens on a regular basis. This happens again and again and again and again and again. It slows down the game like crazy. I mean, no one wants to sit here and wait for this shit to disappear over and over and over and over and over again. And another thing is that a lot of times I'll be walking and shooting and this enemy will die right in front of me and will drop a weapon's downgrades before I can react and I'll accidentally pick it up, downgrading my weapon. Now since anything below a level 8 is a piece of shit, you have a much greater chance now of getting chewed alive by these fucking enemies. Another thing is that when you're trying to upgrade the whip, half the time when you get a whip upgrade, there'll be a gun downgrade superimposed on top of it or in front of it, and then you can't get it without downgrading your weapon. I mean, this is the most annoying thing in the game ever. I guess the last thing I'll talk about is the ending. Now, after you defeat the final boss, you get a sequence where the spaceship blows up and then everybody's around Uncle Fester celebrating. It's pretty cliche, nothing to get excited over, so that's how the game ends. So there you have it, Fester's Quest. Don't play it. It's a bad game. Just stay away. And that concludes this presentation. I hope you enjoyed it. Peace out.